Hello dear students, today in this series of Pedagogy of Social Studies, we will study constructivist approach in teaching of social studies. So let us begin with these few lines of an expert. As it is being said that I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. So the whole constructivist approach is based on these lines, that we should involve the students in doing, and then only they will understand more and they will participate in the construction of knowledge. So to begin with, I would like to introduce the meaning of constructivism. Constructivism refers to the idea that learners construct knowledge for themselves, and each learner individually or socially constructs meaning as he or she learns. A learning theory that equates learning with creating meaning from experience is called constructivism. It is a theory of learning based on the idea that knowledge is constructed by the learner based on his mental ability. It states that people learn by actively constructing their own knowledge based on prior knowledge. So, here are few definitions of constructivism. Constructivism is a philosophy of learning founded on the premise that by reflecting on our own experiences, we construct our understanding of the world we live in. It is based on a type of learning in which the learner forms or constructs much of what she learns or comprehends. There are two types of constructivism. Number one is cognitive or individual constructivism, and number two is social constructivism. The individual constructivism is based on the Piaget's theory of learning, and the social constructivism depends upon the Vygotsky's theory of learning. So these two psychologists, Piaget and Vygotsky, have given the idea of constructivism. So the Piaget's constructivism is cognitive constructivism, which is individual in nature, and Vygotsky's constructivism is group constructivism or social constructivism. So what is the difference? In individual constructivism, the ideas are created in individuals through a personal process. Means the individual creates the idea on his own. And in the second one, that is social constructivism, the ideas are constructed through interaction with the teacher and other peer group or students. So here we are talking about social constructivism more of. Let us proceed further. Here are the important 5 E's of constructivist approach. So these are engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. So let us understand these 5 E's of constructivist approach one by one. Number 1 is engage. So in this stage, engage is the first stage of constructivism, and students first encounter and identify the instructional task. Teacher must engage students in their lessons in order for them to learn. Engage students by guiding whole group discussions, asking students to explain what they learned, working together in small groups to complete projects or tasks. So this is engage. Now the second is explore. So in the exploration stage, the students have the opportunity to get directly involved with the phenomena and materials. How? Students inquire, work together, form hypotheses, learn about new ideas and concepts on their own before coming together as a whole class. So first, individual constructivism, they do. Students develop an idea of what they may think an object or idea is. then explore it further to see if their idea was accurate. Students use tools such as textbooks, internet, instruments, creative minds to explore new concepts. Then comes the third stage, that is explain. Explain is the point at which the learner begins to put the abstract experience through which she or he has gone into a communicable form. The student will define and explain the current concept using their own words. The student will accomplish this using informational reading, group discussions, and teacher interaction. Learners will be support each other by sharing their ideas, observations, questions, and hypotheses. Now comes the fourth part, that is elaborate. To elaborate, the students expand on the concepts they have learned, make connections to other related concepts, and apply their understanding to the world around them. Students will expand their learning on the concepts by making connections to related concepts and applying their understanding to the world around them. This will help students make connections that will lead them to more inquiry, which will lead to new understandings. Now comes the fifth part, that is evaluate. The fifth E is an ongoing diagnostic process that allows teacher to determine if the learner has attained understanding of concepts and knowledge. Constructivism encourages teachers to assess their students' learning on an ongoing basis. In traditional classroom, assessment would be paper tests taken by the student after the content was taught and in which they receive a grade. In a constructivist classroom, the teacher assesses the student work and adapts the lesson plan to meet the needs of the learner. Now comes the characteristics of constructivism. So constructivism is characterized by hands-on experiences, logical reasoning, problem solving, concept development, and it is also based on authentic learning, engaged and active learning, whole language approach to literacy, and construction is based on socially constructed reality. So let us have these characteristics in detail. So the characteristics of constructivist teaching are: learners actively participate in classroom discussion. Learning environment provide multiple representations of reality and collaborative construction of knowledge through social negotiation. Teaching based on active interaction among students. Teachers facilitate a process of learning in which the students are included and explore their innovative ideas. Encourage the spirit of questioning by asking thoughtful, open-ended questions and encourage thoughtful discussion among students. Now let us understand the advantages of constructivism. Curriculum emphasizes this kind of approach, or curriculum emphasizes big concepts beginning with the whole and expanding to include parts. Its pursuit of students' question and interests is valued. The materials included are primary sources of material and manipulative material. Learning is interactive, building on what the student already knows. Teachers have dialogue with the students, helping students construct their own knowledge. Teachers' role is interactive, rooted in negotiation. Assessments include student work, observations, and point of view as well as tests. Process is as important as the product. Knowledge is seen as dynamic, ever-changing with our experiences, and students work primarily in small groups. These are the few very, very clear advantages of constructivism. So, we can remember constructivism as it enhances knowledge, It is a practical approach, it is a holistic approach, it includes all the slow learners, advanced learners, and it is very effective. So, it is the best framework we can ever have, and to conclude, we can say that it is based on the approach that if you tell me, I will listen. If you show me, I will see. But if you give me experience, I will learn. So with these lines, I conclude here the topic of constructivism. Thank you. Bye bye. See you.